If you've been in a hospital or care facility, you may have experienced how time can drag on while waiting for tests and procedures. Stuck in a room, not knowing what's next, getting poked and prodded, it's scary, and you feel alone. The entire experience can be very intimidating, no matter how old you are. But what if someone is there to make you laugh and distract you from an impending needle prick? A holiday hero, perhaps? Greetings to all watching and listening to this episode of Chezuba Talks. I'm Paige, and I have a hero with me on the show, Mike Jostes, Executive Director of Holiday Heroes, a 501 Platinum Transparency nonprofit based in Illinois. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So, are you the official happiness officer at Holiday Heroes?
I am. Yep, I'm the executive director here at Holiday Heroes.
Wonderful. Tell us what you do and how you integrate laughter and happiness in your serious job.
Yeah, so we provide a number of different programs strictly focused for pediatric patients. We cater to all pediatric patients, but our focus is seriously ill and chronically ill children. So patients that are in and out of the hospital or patients that are in there for long periods of time, months. We've had a patient that was there for almost a year and a half that we saw a couple times. So, we cater to everybody, but those are our two main focus areas. So like ICU, ER, those type of things. And we
Right.
provide a number of different programs. We provide costume character visits. So everything
Mhm.
from Elsa to Superman, Wonder Woman. We've done stuff with sports teams, a few celebrities, one-on-one bedside visits just to kind of take their minds off of what's going on in their bodies and what's going on in the hospital. Then we also provide activity boxes ranging from infant to preteen. It's got about three to
Mhm.
five different crafts and activities, stickers, kind of all sorts of things in there to do while they're in the hospital. We provide smaller grab and go called hero packs, which are specifically focused for outpatient centers at doctor's offices, kind of smaller grab and go in between therapy and visits. And then we also have a gaming program. So we have a partnership with a Twitch TV streamer, and we have a bunch of Nintendo Switches that we have and distribute throughout hospitals, and they can game against each other. We do once a month gaming parties, and we usually get about 8 to 10 patients kind of gaming against each other through Twitch TV.
Lovely. And do you have days decided for hospital visits or OPD visits, or yes?
Yeah, so we have close to 30 over 30 partnerships across the country, and we do quarterly parties with them, so 4 times a year. And they get to pick. So we start our parties in February and go to December. So we do Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, superhero days in April. There's sports themes and summer themes, fall, all sorts of things. So they get to pick what they want to do 4 times a year.
Oh, nice. And do you have requests as well coming in from the patients or the parents?
Yeah, well, not a whole lot. People are pretty excited with what we provide already. So there's kind of one offs where we provide like, small children's organizations. If there's like an event going on or a pediatric program, we kind of do little one offs. But yeah, not a whole lot of different requests for what patients and parents are asking for.
Right. Tell us about the volunteers that you have. Do you volunteer as well?
Yeah. So volunteers are literally the backbone of our organization. We're a 3-person staff that provide programs across the country. So we have hundreds of volunteers ranging from Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts to high schools, middle schools, family volunteers. We have a big corporate based volunteers. So we do service days with, banks and real estates and consulting companies. So yes, volunteers are, I don't even know if we'd be able to survive if we didn't have the volunteer um,
Yeah.
backup.
Did you ever go dressed up as somebody who you did not expect to go as?
I haven't yet. Although, yeah, so I haven't dressed up as I volunteered to pack things and go to the hospitals, but I actually haven't dressed up yet. I get asked that question all the time. Although I should have a superhero outfit ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, it must be exciting. Actually, I'm just wondering how would the experience be when you are going to a terminally ill young patient And the poor thing is probably in a lot of pain, in a lot of is scared. Obviously you are instrumental in creating a change in his or her demeanor. So does that put a lot of pressure on you?
It does. It puts well the pressure. I think we're so excited about what we provide. That it's yes, it's really tough. I have a 4.5-year old, so it even affects me more when I go into these hospitals. So
Yeah.
seeing these kids that are stuck in. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, this kid was stuck in a hospital bed for a year and a half, having all different brain complications, and we saw him 3 different times. Like it just breaks my heart. So
Absolutely.
whatever we're even if we have 2 minutes to 10 minutes in there, it's just we totally just taking their minds off of what's going on. And you'd be
Mhm.
surprised too. I think the parents get affected by it more because how do you explain to like a young kid what's going on in their bodies if they have terminal cancer? They're fighting the fight, and it's like how do you can't explain to them really what's going on. So if I can
Absolutely.
tell you the number of stories when I've seen parents break down, hug the superhero or hug the volunteer or hug the staff member, I mean, it affects them, I think, the most because it's just like for that moment they're seeing their kid happy, that they haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, I know. I would make a terrible volunteer, I know. um,
Oh, I know.
I
I've
would
had to step out
go.
of room before. I'm just like, oh my god, I couldn't imagine this. So, and we try our best not to show. We try not to show them that we're sad and stressed. We try and bring as much happiness as we can. So, have volunteers had to leave the room before for sure, but we don't want to show the parents that. So we make sure that we're mentally prepared going in there and expect, and
I understand.
we
Yes.
really make sure our volunteers are prepared for what they're going to see because, like you said, I mean these kids are some are really really sick.
Let's take a break to understand what Chezuba is. Everyone at some point ponders on how this beautiful life can be made more meaningful. Maybe you're a leader trying to enhance your employees' experience at your organization. Or you already work for the community and seek volunteers with state of the art skills to strengthen your nonprofit. Whatever your situation, know that you can make a difference. Chezuba began with this very vision, a vision to facilitate every skill and every passion in the world in meeting a social need. Corporate volunteering has several benefits for both businesses and organizations. In parallel, experienced and enthusiastic volunteers join NGO workers, enabling them to serve the community more effectively. Chezuba offers everyone looking to add purpose and meaning to their lives a chance to connect or volunteer virtually with nonprofit organizations from over 100 countries around the world. Visit www.chezuba.net and explore opportunities to find meaning. Chezuba, your platform to do good. And now, back with our guest.
Right, right. So let's talk about the costumes. Do you have people who sponsor these costumes for you, or do you have to source them from somewhere, or do you have to get it stitched from somewhere? Do people donate? Like companies like, I'm just using names here, like say Walt Disney or somebody, do they actually make an effort to reach out to you?
Yeah, so we work with a couple different companies here in Chicago. So the good thing is that we have a big theater base, in Chicago. So we have a couple actors that
Mhm.
help us
Yeah.
out, dressed as volunteers. We work with this company who they had to do something with a cruise, like a Disney cruise or Disney something, and Disney sold the company, and then they bought all the costumes from them. So
Ah,
they have real Mickey and Minnie and real Marvel costumes and stuff like that. So we make sure that because the funny thing is these kids ask so many questions. They'll ask like Elsa, so like, where were you born, and all this stuff where they know the background already, and our volunteers are already prepared with the answers to that. Like, where's your spaceship, or where's your superpower, and where's this, and I think we've done pretty well with kind of prepping them with background
yeah.
materials.
Even the dialogues, I presume they would ask them to repeat the dialogues.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, and we've done. We have a couple volunteers that sing and they act, and so it's a whole kind of experience.
Experience, yeah, wonderful. So I'm sure there's a lot of preparation going on behind the scenes rather than the actual visit per se. So you have people to come and help you out with that.
Yep, yep. Yeah, we make sure that it's like I said, it's part of the experience. We want to make sure that it's a fun time. making the kids happy, and that all the volunteers and staff and all of us are well prepared walking in there with,
Yeah.
everything
What
going
about
on.
the medical staff, the nurses, the doctors there? Do they also cooperate? Do they also have a part to play in your experience?
They do. So they actually love seeing us coming. It's so funny too, because like the hospital staff gets so excited. They're taking pictures with us. The doctors are taking pictures with the costume characters. And yeah, they play a big part too. They're big advocates for us. I think they truly believe in kind of what we're bringing to these patients. Um,
Hmm.
we we do work closely with the nurses more than we do with kind of the leadership and physicians there. But I mean, they're right there with us coming in, and they love us. The minute we walk in the door.
It's wonderful to know. Because I understand medical staff is pretty busy, and having somebody come and probably ask some time off from their routine. Some people may like it, some people may find it, disturbing their schedules. So,
Yeah. And
I
that's
think
kind
it's
of why we decided on doing it quarterly. I think if we had more kind of resources and funding, we could provide it, once a
Mhm.
month, but we don't want to, one, we don't want to take up, like you said, doctors are so busy, nurses are so busy, especially with COVID and all these
Right.
respiratory infections going on. They're beyond busy.
Yeah,
So
that's
we
right.
still want to come in, make an impact, bring an experience, but not overdo our time where they're like, oh, you guys are back again to disrupt, the
Yeah.
processes. But so,
So, Mike, tell us, what can somebody who is not currently a volunteer, who is not currently in a situation that who can help, what can such people do to help an
yeah. So
organization like yours?
yeah, definitely. So we have a number of different resources. Like I keep saying, we're really small. So as corny as it sounds, literally every single dollar counts here. We don't have a lot of overhead, so a lot of the fun, all the fundraising goes strictly to our programming. We have wish lists for our craft materials. We have volunteers where you can just help pack and prep some of our craft kits. You can pack the boxes. We have event sponsorships, donations. We help with grant. I mean, grants. We apply for grants. Anything that we can do, ranging from volunteer to donations, we accept everything.
Wonderful. I'm putting it out there for anybody who's watching and listening to this. Any way you can help Holiday Heroes, please go ahead and help out.
Yeah.
And Mike, lastly, tell us of any one incident or any touching story that you would like to share today on the podcast.
Yeah, so I was at a hospital. I believe this was maybe last year, and Elsa was there. So Elsa was making her rounds, and I was kind of just, I think I was talking to some hospital staff or maybe handing out some of the activity boxes to some other patients there. And I could hear at the top of my lungs Elsa singing with this patient. And it was like the cutest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. She's probably like a 4 or 5 year old little girl. And,
Uh-huh.
she was, I forgot what she had, but she was in a room for I think for a few weeks. And she was up, she was dancing, she was singing with Elsa, and her mom was just in tears. And she's like, "I haven't seen her this happy in months." I
Wow.
think it was cancer or something like that that she was going through. She's like, she hasn't gotten out of bed. She barely smiles. Mom was like, "This is the best experience I've ever had with her ever since we've been in the hospital." So, like we were all in tears, just crying and stuff like that. So,
That is beautiful. That part where you are actually touching lives and making a difference to them is just amazing.
yeah, even just a little song, a little dance, can cheer someone up and change their mood for the day. So that's what we're trying to do is
Right.
bring an
That
experience.
is like a message to everybody out here, also, right? Isn't it? Not that necessarily everybody will be in a hospital or a patient, but just spreading joy, spreading cheerfulness, smiling at somebody, that itself brings a lot of happiness.
Yeah, I've been here like a year and a half, and I feel like it's changed. Like what you just said, it's kind of changed my view on things. Like just a simple smile, hello, just being kind. We all need a
Yeah,
little kindness in this world, especially with all the craziness going on the outside.
true, true. So, Mike, Holiday Heroes is doing an exemplary job of spreading happiness. And like they say, happiness always moves in circles. And when you give, it comes back to you soon with rich dividends. I hope that this reaps you many rich dividends, and for you and your team as well. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Excited to be here.
See you all, folks. Remember to be kind and spread happiness. I'll see you all again in the next episode. Till then, goodbye.